Haha! What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the Six Gaming Podcast. I am your host, as always, Shosan, and I'm damn happy to have you guys with us. This is episode 77, and joining us this week, an awesome and illustrious set of co-hosts. Of course, up first, Mr. Pantherian.
What's up?
Hi.
It's me.
And
I'm here.
we have Mr. Runckley.
I am not playing Diablo.
At all, right?
Nope.
At this very moment, you are not playing Diablo.
We'll talk about it. Don't worry. There's reason for it. We might be joined here a little bit later by another host or two, but we'll certainly see how that works. So, let's kick things off with one of my favorite parts of the show.
Good news, everyone!
Yes, it's
Yay.
news! And we
You're
have very
so
little to talk
enthusiastic
about.
Why not? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, we do have very little to talk about. It's been an oddly slow week, but there is some interesting stuff. So, Mr. Roncley here, since it was already alluded to, you've been playing a certain game. Why?
Well, Diablo 3 Season 7 started yesterday,
And?
and I've been playing it. Not a
That
whole lot
doesn't
more to
help
say
me
than
at
that.
So, like, have there been any major changes? Has anything crazy happened this season, or?
Not yet. I mean, they fixed some bugs. They added some new legendaries. Just nothing serious. No major content.
They nerfed the shit out of Witch Doctors right before it dropped, though.
No, they didn't. Well, Witch
did you
Doctor's
not-
kicking some ass right now.
Well, I saw a post that said there was like a ring that affected. I thought it was a ring that affected pets, and they made it not affect pets. So it
Hey,
completely.
that ring's not in my build.
Yeah. Well.
So yeah,
Sure.
it's
God,
yeah, it's a season. It's Season 7.
Yep. I think
Right.
they. I read something about that. How last season there was supposed to be some cosmetic wings and pets and stuff. And they're like, no, it's really, really rare. And everyone's like, yeah, well, no one's got it. They're like, well, it's really rare. And they're like, yeah, but no one has it. And they're like, oh shit, we actually forgot to put that in.
Which one?
Wow.
There were some of the cosmetic stuff was supposedly like they
I
looked
was
at
unaware
the
of that.
they looked at the stats and they're like, oh, oops.
Because I know that the cosmic wings are like the most rare item. I've seen people with them, but the number of people that have them is so low.
I don't remember which one it was, but there were some that everyone's like complaining. They're like, it's not in there, and they're like, no, it's in there. It's just really low. And they looked and they're like, literally no one has it. And then they looked at the code and they're like, oops, we forgot to enable that.
Wow.
Nice job, Liz. GG.
That's a pretty big oversight, it sounds like. I mean, come on.
It does.
No, they fixed it and whatever. It's cosmetic. It's not like they completely fucked
Yeah.
up the entire season by leaving in a bug for wizards or anything.
Well, and
Two
it's
seasons,
not
you mean?
like,
Yeah.
Well, and it's not like, Blizzard to forget shit, even if it is cosmetic, and, not piss off the community in any small way. Blizzard
Speaking
never
of
does
pissing off the community,
Oh boy. Yep.
so Pokemon Go had some issues in the last couple weeks.
Because it
And
had
by
to
last
come up.
couple of weeks, I mean since launch. So if you guys played on
Why
your
would I play
screen,
Pokemon Go?
because
Why would
everyone
I play
else is
Pokemon Go?
because everyone's doing it, Ron.
Would you
Everyone-
jump off a bridge if everyone was doing it, Dan?
It's
If
everyone
literally
except
everyone else was watching it, was doing it, then maybe.
it's everyone except me and Ron playing it, mind you.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Anyway, so there was a little thing that would show you what Pokemon were near you, and there would be like 3 little paw prints. And 3 paw prints means that it's within 300 yards. And 2 paw prints means it's within 200 yards, and so forth. So at any given time, centered on you would be like 9 football field square that any of the Pokemon could be within. And then as you moved around, they would move around in the graph, and the paw prints would change. And so you could basically triangulate. That's not really the right word, but you could figure out if you're going in the
Actually,
right
it's
direction.
the right word.
Sort of. It's hot or cold, right?
Right.
You could play hot or cold. And within the first week, they created what was called the 3 footstep bug came to be. And that's all the Pokemon at all time had 3 footsteps. So you couldn't tell if you were getting closer or further away. And people got frustrated at first, and then they got outright angry because there's this problem that they're not fixing. So some people used the API. I don't know if it was technically an API, but they're basically using a Python script to scrape the locations of the Pokemon off the server. And they're probably degrading the performance of the server, honestly. But they were making the game playable, so you could see where the Pokemon were nearby. And honestly, for a lot of people, it was making it fun to play it sort of a different way. Like, maybe not within your normal radar range, but like you could click around your neighborhood and say there was like a Snorlax a mile away, and it was going to despawn in 10 minutes. So you could there was one guy I saw post that said like, I'm kind of out of shape, but what I would do is find rare Pokemon in my neighborhood, like a mile away, and then run there. So like the dude ran like a 10-minute mile. So if there was one like 11 minutes away, he would sprint as fast as he could and like be sweating and like get a good workout. He'd run a mile to where this place was and capture the Pokemon.
Crazy people. Crazy.
But it sounds really good for you, though.
I think it's great.
It's getting him out.
So what ended up happening was Niantic, which is the company that makes Pokemon, the Pokemon Go game, they basically shut out the loophole that was making it possible for these websites to operate. And I think there's still some that have figured out a way to do it. But in the meantime, they still haven't fixed the 3-step bug. So the owner and creator of one of these websites basically said, he posted on Twitter, he said, this is like if you invented the game Marco Polo, got 80 million people to start playing it, and then stopped Polo from working.
Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy.
And so there's people on both sides of this. Anyway, during all this, there's been no communication from Niantic. And people who have played Ingress know that this is part of the course, right? Niantic has had no feedback. There's been a lot of antics that have gone on with Ingress where, like, the storyline isn't going the way that Niantic thinks it's going to go, because it's got more of a storyline than Pokemon. And so they'll, like, suddenly change shit to make it work the way they want. Like, if you've ever played D&D and you've had a DM that's like, and then you all die, like, they force the storyline because it's not going the way they planned, even though you're playing the game smart.
I had a DM do that to me once. I was so mad.
Yeah, it's bullshit, and everyone hates it. So finally Niantic has actually they've hired a community manager, apparently, and they've been posting on Facebook and Twitter like the last few days, and they've been like, hey, we know there's this bug, and we're going to fix it. And like, even though it's still shitty, just the fact that they're communicating has been huge. Miss Dominatrix says that she's lost 20 pounds from playing Pokemon. 20 pounds is a lot.
What?
So good on you.
Wow.
That's awesome. Niantic has released a statement saying they have no future plans to fix this 3-step issue. So,
wow. Okay.
I mean,
good luck, community manager.
Yeah.
You'll need it.
Yeah. I mean, but maybe they're doing something else entirely. Like, maybe the bug's fucked up and they're gonna do some entirely different system, and that'd be fine too. Like, they don't have to fix that if they're gonna do something else. And Ron, you and I know that, if a system's busted in a game, like if it's something okay, like if something's fucked up, then you just sometimes make something else in its place instead.
Yeah, and we just talked about that with the Firebug set for Blizzard. Blizzard does the same thing with Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instead of fixing the problem with the Firebird set, they redesigned it.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's going on with Pokemon Go. Personally, I was playing it, then I uninstalled it when all this was going on. If they fix the problems, then I'll go back to playing it. But for me, it was not fun to just hope that I was going in the right direction and wander around. Like, the idea of hunting the Pokemon down and being able to find the ones that I wanted was what made the game fun. Well, and just wandering around is not fun.
And that's just it. It's pretty funny you say that, because Miss Dominatrix says, a lot of people have been asking for refunds, and they might, but I hope that they do, just to help the game. Where is it? She says, hopefully that they'll fix it before she does quit permanently. So
Yeah.
Well, we
and
know
that-
how permanently quitting games goes around here, right, Joe?
oh yeah,
Diablo
yeah.
3, World of
Permanently quit all
Warcraft.
the time. You know.
So one of the things also was that there are people requesting refunds, and actually I think Apple was granting them. I'm not sure if Android is, but there have been refunds granted because people basically said, this is the game that I paid for, and it is no longer the game that I paid for in the game that was promised.
Oh, I did read something about that. Okay.
And so
Go ahead.
Niantic is basically hemorrhaging money out these refunds.
Yeah.
That's fine.
The Dominatrix bringing up something about the increased difficulty it's taking to capture these things now. I actually read someone who said that something that they had no problem capturing before had to use like 9 balls on the thing.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
another thing. Is they did
Now,
admit
I have no idea what that means, but that sounds like difficulty just skyrocketed.
Well, there were people who were saying this, like, oh man, it's been a lot harder, and the Pokemon have run a lot more, and people are like, no, it's just you. And Niantic has come out and said that in the last patch they fucked something up, and they're harder to capture now too, which is good. Like honestly, like you remember we've talked about it a lot. If a company comes clean on a problem, that's good.
Yeah,
we shouldn't,
I'm totally
we shouldn't
for it.
attack them for that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you fess up, do what you got to do.
But the
and we can
3-step
move on.
thing,
that there's they need to address it.
you do.
I
better
wish
than
they'd
saying
say
we're
we
not
have it. Yeah, but I mean, they might say they're not going to fix it, but they should say we have another system that we're going to put in its place.
Yeah. No, I'm not good at math, but she does say, considering you get about 1 to 3 balls per Pokestop, and you're tossing 7 to 10, that means you have to hit a lot more Pokestops.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, my math isn't great, but that's pretty insane.
Yeah, and if you don't live near a lot of them, or work near a lot of them, or pass them on your way to work, and you should not be playing Pokemon in your car.
Right.
You should not.
Ever.
Uh,
Never. Don't do it.
Then
Anyway.
again,
Also,
read stories that
this
people-
may be just my opinion, but you should never play Pokemon outside of a car. But that's my opinion.
yeah, I don't know.
It does not
I've
reflect
read
the opinion of
stories
the rest
about
of 6 Gaming.
I've read stories about people who apparently tie their phone to the ceiling fan just to hatch eggs because I guess it tracks movement. So they'll just
my
tie
God.
their phone to the ceiling fan and let it go, or tie it to their
that's
dog.
a fantastic idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm done. Jesus Christ, damn the hell.
That's gamer ingenuity, is what that is. I totally support it.
That's engineering.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right. Well, we worked to get Ron back here because fucking rage quit. Anyway, let's talk about No Man's Sky because apparently we have to talk about this every week now. But then again, they're really good at drumming up news.
Well, it'll come out and it'll be shitty, and then we'll talk about it how shitty it is, and then we'll never talk about it again.
My wife wanted to add that she's not a fan of that method.
No, oh god, oh it took me a second. God,
I'm getting assaulted
Why?
from all sides.
Just so we have some other way of making the phone go up and down a lot.
oh god, moving
Let's
on.
move on to the next topic, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. So, in a last-minute release, apparently No Man's Sky has been delayed a further 3 days.
Yeah, we were talking about
is
this last
pushing it
week.
back- Yeah, this is pushing it back.
Well, so in the UK they
to-
delayed it, and then in the US they delayed it to the same UK date. So like last week we talked about the UK delay.
Right.
I thought.
But the console versions are coming out on time.
Yeah.
As announced.
I don't understand what 3 days is for. I mean, there must be some small bug, or there's something
But-
else going on, or
If it
Yeah,
was
what
a
do you
small
guys?
bug, why
Seems
couldn't you
technical.
patch it?
Yeah, I think
Because it's
they're
server side,
getting.
baby?
I think they're getting some last things done for like day 0 patch. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's... I don't know, we'll talk about this later, but honestly, I don't know how to feel about it, only because you're so close to the date, and you couldn't possibly screw it up more than Ubisoft does with some of their major titles.
That's true. It can't be worse than some Ubisoft. It will never be worse than Paintball Extreme.
I've
Which-
never
which-
played it, but it sounds
No.
like I would have enjoyed it.
I recall it having like a score of 7% in PC Gamer, which is the lowest I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, actually.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that. Anyway, I think that's it for news, unless anybody has any last-minute things they want to throw in there.
Yeah, just a reminder of upcoming major gaming dates. Tuesday, of course, is going to be the launch of Demon Hunters in World of Warcraft. They'll be able to play through the starting zone, and I assume once they hit 100, they'll do their integration with Draenor. And then that's also the console launch date for No Man's Sky. Friday is the PC launch date. And then on the 30th, of course, is the full Legion launch. And I think 1 week from this coming Friday begins the Crypt of the Necrodancer World Cup.
Wow.
Are you involved?
I don't know yet. I've signed up. They're only taking 32 players. And my time is top 50 right now. We'll get to that in the next section.
I think, speaking of dates, I think Abduction is launching sometime this month.
Mm-hmm.
They keep moving it, but the community has been pretty supportive of them getting it right. And also the game, I believe I talked about it last week, but Pray for the Gods was a Kickstarter that got funded, and it's a sort of Shadow of the Colossus spiritual successor. Although I'm not sure it's made by the same people. It looks similar.
The same.
Yeah, it's big giant bosses that you can climb around. The bosses are the levels. So they got funded. So that's cool.
Yeah, should definitely be fun. All right, so let's move on.
So hold on. Let me do some shitty minutes real quick because I this is kind of gaming related, but not really. And one of the things that I do, of course, I do a lot of Twitch streaming. I participate in a lot of Twitch stream chats and stuff like that. And I wanted a way to get rid of one of the programs that I use called Chatty. And I just don't like having all these extra things around. So I'm going to pull this up here, and I imagine you guys are probably going to laugh at this, but there. I don't know if you can see that.
I just see you for the moment.
Hold on.
Okay, now I see you. Looks like Discord.
Go. Yeah. Do you notice what the chat is here?
Is that Is that the Twitch chat in Discord?
That is Twitch chat in Discord. So I figured out a way to put this Twitch chat in Discord. Of course, I'm in a number of different channels. I can even do like slash commands from it and change the title of my stream and stuff like that. It's actually pretty cool. And I just wanted to.
So what does that require?
It requires a Twitch application and a Discord application and chat bot in order to do something like this.
That sounds like way more work than I'm willing to put in.
And then, of course, running my application under Node. But, I'm a lazy programmer, and after I'm done with this, I'll be able to get rid of Chatty, which is really cool. The only thing that I can't see is I can't see who's chatting. I don't know if you can see at the top here. At the very top, you can see the topic has the number of viewers, chatters, how long they've been online for, what game they're playing, the title of the stream, number of followers and viewers, stuff like that. I just can't see who is chatting yet, and I can't figure out how to do that yet. So it's kind of a neat thing. I'm liking this. It's better than because I also use Discord. I mean, you can see how many servers I'm on. This is like 15 servers along the side here. I actually pared down over the weekend. Just dropped a whole bunch of servers, but yeah, I'm in a lot of servers, and having a central place for communication is really good because as a developer, one of the things that I learned early on is communication is important, but it can be a waste of time if you don't do it efficiently. And Discord is really good with this.
I can't believe that you're in a Franker Z channel.
That's not a Franker Z channel. That's the speedrunning community channel.
Oh, that's why it's Franker Z. I mean,
it's
kind of the mascot.
But like one of the things that they do here is they have the stream announcements, and whenever I'm doing a speed run, it shows up on here, which is really cool. So yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to my favorite part of the show. I've been waiting for this for a little bit, and I know you guys are excited too, because I want to know Hey, podcasters, what you playing?
That's such a ripoff.
Diff.
Yeah,
Paint diff.
haters. Anyway, I'll kick things off because, quite honestly, mine's really, really quick. So, with the kickoff of Diablo 3, the new season, I did start playing that a little bit. And by little bit, I mean a little bit. But I'm still playing it. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the Barbarian. Then I've gotten into We Happy Few with their alpha that's off on Steam. Love this game. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait for the actual release so that I can get really big into the story. But the procedurally generated worlds, all the little things that they throw into it, even for an alpha, is really cool. The problem is, it's still very, very buggy. So I'm hoping they'll start getting this stuff ironed out pretty quickly and then give us an official date. And then, of course, with the Fallout 4 DLC for the Vault expansion, I have been working tirelessly on my stupid Vault. There is so much room and so much to do in there now, it's hard to keep up with. But the Vault DLC is a lot of fun. It's a good time killer. But anyway, that's all I've been playing. So, Pent, how about you?
Man, I feel like I should buy Fallout 4 at some point. I'm going to wait for it to be like Game of the Year edition for $7, I think.
Right.
With all the DLC.
Well, before you go, though, I want to pass it over to Miss Dominatrix. She said Song of the Deep, Pokemon, and the Mobius Final Fantasy. I was actually looking at the Mobius. It looked like a cool game. I might have to try it. Anyway. Pent.
Hey, Kodo11. Just saying hi. So I've been playing Diablo 3 a little bit. I'm at level 65, I think. Gonna get to 70 and try to find some sets. Ron convinced me to play Witch Doctor this season. I haven't played Witch Doctor in quite a while, so gonna try that out.
Vetch is also playing Witch Doctor, and he is loving the fuck out of it. He's having a whole lot of fun.
I've played a lot of Monk. I did well with Crusader one season. But I really only played Witch Doctor, I think, the very first time that I started a character, and haven't really played a season with it. So gonna go. Exolamb's playing Wii Sports Resort and Skyrim. So some games to just relax to. That's pretty cool. Miss Dominatrix said her husband will be excited for that. PS4, which console for the DLC?
I'm telling you, that Fallout DLC.
For the Fallout DLC, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
I've been playing some Batman Arkham Asylum. Finally trying to play my way through that, it's just a mistake. I'm playing yet another game that I'm like, I had my list of games, and I'm like, I'm going to play some Batman. And now I'm getting into another game. So I actually found a subreddit called 12 and 12, which is about you choose 12 games and you play one game per month, and your goal is to finish each game, which is kind of interesting because I know all of us have huge Steam backlogs, and so the idea is instead of playing like a bunch of games at the same time and barely making progress on them, you focus on one game, you finish it, you move on to the next game. So I might try that. Diablo 3 is going to completely screw that up. Also, Show got me We Happy Few, so thank you, Show.
Yeah,
and,
I wanted your opinion on it.
And I'll give it a minute, so I'm going to skip over that for just a second and then come back to it. Played a little bit of Dark Souls, got to the boss in New Londo Ruins, and got my butt handed to me. And Brox gave me some tips. I'm going to try to go back to it. It's a pain in the butt to run to the boss, so it's just like I make 3 or 4 attempts and then I get really just sick of it. So I got this mobile game called Terra Battle. It's sort of like if you played the Puzzles and Dragons game, which is sort of like a gem matching RPG. And it's combined with kind of Disgaea. I don't really know how to say that.
Yeah, no idea.
If you're familiar,
Disgaea?
it was a Disgaea, sure.
Oh.
It's the one of the Prinnies.
I know Disgaea.
Oh, god damn it, Ron. Why?
It's the one with the printies, the little penguin guys that explode. Brox plays it. It's a tactical RPG. Anyway, so this game is like you have your guys and it's on a grid, and each of your guys is represented by a square in the grid, and you can move them around, but you have a certain amount of time to move a block, and if you move one block into another block, then the first block stays where it is and the second block starts moving. So like you can kind of set up some tactical stuff, but you have to be fast. You have to plan ahead of time. And any time when your blocks are aligned vertically or horizontally, then that gives you bonuses. So it's a pretty fun tactical RPG-ish game. I probably won't finish it. It's got the various, like, you have to buy energy and recruit characters and so on and so forth.
Yep. Microtransactions will be the death of all of us.
I will be right back.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Well, anyway.
Well, on that then, I guess Mr. Runkley.
Well, I've been playing a lot of different things this week. A lot of familiar things, though, starting with Crypt of the Necrodancer. Of course, practicing for the World Cup, hoping that I get in that. Previous to this week, I had a best time of 6 minutes 44 seconds, which was like 80 something on the leaderboards. I beat that twice this week. Ended up getting it down to 6 minutes and 4 seconds. Good for 50th. So that gets me a lot closer to being in that top 32 if needed. Hopefully I make that in. Basically, the way that they're doing that World Cup, by the way, is that they're dividing it so that there's 8 players in the Western Americas, that's North and South, 8 in the Eastern North and South. There's one really good player in Brazil. He actually has had the top Coda time for a while over Spoody Biscuit. And then there's going to be Europe and Africa combined, and Asia and Australia combined. And there's going to be 8 from each region. They're going to play for 3 weeks in I think it's a double round robin. It may just be a single round robin. I don't know. But it's going to be round robin group action going on, and then the final week they'll have a 8-man tournament, and it should be a ton of fun. It's going to be great. It's probably going to be over at twitch.tv/eladdificult, who always does these Necrodancer tournaments. So definitely something you want to check out. As we mentioned, Diablo 3, starting the Witch Doctor over again. Last night, before I went to sleep, I made it to Greater Rift 45, and had the number 206 spot on the leaderboards. I woke up this morning and went to play and was off the leaderboards. So it is very, very competitive right now. I did get back up to about 750. I did a Greater Rift 53 earlier. Going to be continuing that after the podcast as well. I want to get as much done as possible this weekend, simply because next week is just going to be fuck Demon Hunters, No Man's Sky. I'm probably going to be. I hope No Man's Sky is really good. I'm really hoping.
Me too.
But
now,
we'll see.
Ron, are you going to be streaming?
We'd love to
your
teach you more Diablo. Sorry, Miss Dominatrix was saying that she wants to add us on Diablo so we can teach it to her.
Well,
absolutely.
Ron, aren't you going to be streaming?
Yeah. Oh, I'm streaming this all the time.
There you go.
Yeah.
I would offer, but I'm absolutely terrible at Diablo. You
didn't do too bad last night.
Carried.
You say you got carried, but I mean, you leveled up with us and got most of your Chapter 2 done. I mean, you got Chapter 3 done today. It doesn't sound like you're getting carried. It sounds like you're actually doing stuff. My wife just finished a 35 earlier.
Wow.
And she's like 150 paragons below me right now. So, I mean, she's doing very well.
I'm at like Paragon 20 though.
She's at like 70, I think, 80 maybe. So I mean, it's pretty good. It's a good time to get into it too, just simply because they've made it a lot more accessible to get to the higher levels. Now, to get the truly high scores, you have to have a lot of time involved and a lot of skill. But I mean, I was on Torment 10 by Paragon 150 this season. I mean, that's how quick it's going.
Yeah,
so
that's really quick.
Yeah, and then of course they have Torment 13 this season. I'm currently able to farm Torment 11 efficiently, but I can't get much higher at the moment. I need some gear. I'm missing a lot of gear from my normal set, but even with that, I'm doing really well. So definitely something to get into. Also, if you're interested in, I'm going to plug another URL here. If you go to this little address here,
Ron and his shameless plugs. I like
rnc.li/6-discord, you can get into our Discord server as well, where we're always hanging out. So I've been trying to plug the hell out of that. I've actually invited a few people to that.
We have a website?
We have a website, by the way. If you also, we have 6.gg as well.
Yep.
We have a website.
Yeah, that's the website there. We have an about page that we have all the links on the front page that explain everything that we do with the podcast, with the Discord channel, and then we have an about page that we have a freaking bot sitting on our server that goes through hosting things. It's really cool. So definitely come check that out if you're interested. I know Coda's on there, so it's good to see him here. What else have I been playing? I've been playing fucking Lucio Ball.
Yes, it's awesome.
If you guys have not played Overwatch since Tuesday, get your ass into Overwatch and hit that brawl button and play the best version of soccer you have ever seen. Lucio Ball is awesome. There is a bug where people can select different characters. And we've seen it twice. It was so funny. We had a game against an Ana, and we beat them.
How does that even work? I don't understand it.
Basically, there's a bug in it where if you do something specific, you get a different character other than Lucio. And it's completely random which one you get.
Interesting.
But their abilities are the same as their normal abilities, unlike Lucio, whose knockback doesn't do damage. They don't have a primary attack. They can only punch the ball. They don't punch other people. Their ult doesn't do what it does in the normal game. It does something entirely different. It just sucks the ball in. So basically, if you pick a normal character, you can kill off all the other Lucios on the other team.
Wait, so you said that Lucio sucks balls?
Lucio sucks balls in, yes.
Wow.
That's exactly what I said. Phrasing.
It's that show tonight.
It is. But it is so much fun. And up until last night, me and Sully were just completely dominating. I mean, we played for like 3 hours one night and lost one legit game. The other game we lost, they had a Bastion.
Oh, jeez, that'll do
And
it.
Bastion is a little OP for Lucio Ball, as you can imagine, because he just goes into turret form and his shots just rip the ball into the goal really fast. So, so there's that. Geez, I can't even think of all the stuff I've been playing this week. I know I was going down Steam. Let's see what else I've been playing. I did talk about Crypt, right?
Yeah.
All that going on. World of Warcraft, just a little bit, not too much. I'm actually finishing up fixing an add-on. I'm going to try to be taking over Advanced Icon Selector, which allows you to search for icons for things like macros, guild bank tabs, stuff like that. So I'm hoping to release that hopefully this weekend if I can convince them to let me take over the add-on. And aside from that, that's really been it. I mean, a lot of different things. Lucio Ball's just so much fun. I cannot recommend that enough.
You know,
it's got its issues with lag, but it's still fun.
Ron, while you were talking about this, apparently you talked so much that the Sixbot gave up on us. He just said, "Screw it, I quit."
I know, that's great.
Yeah. Anyway, Penth, finish. Where were you?
Yeah. So get back to We Happy Few. Opinions. So it's still an alpha.
Hey, so the reason why I got it for you, and the reason I wanted your opinion, is only because you are one of the most objective people that we have on the show, and you can definitely look at things from different perspectives. So that's why I wanted you in there.
Yeah, and I'm going to play it more this week, and I'll have more to say next week probably because I didn't get a chance to play a whole lot this week. So the whole aesthetic really reminds me a lot of BioShock.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's an intentional thing by the creators, especially BioShock Infinite. It reminds me a lot of. So it starts off kind of 1984-ish, right? You're editing newspapers you're redacting some stories and stuff.
I do have to say I love that part because that was one of my favorite bugs.
And so you you're messing with newspapers, and then very quickly, like, you leave the office, and you don't take your drugs or whatever. Like, the whole idea is everyone else is on drugs and you're not. And like, it's just it's a very sudden transition.
Yeah, it's a little
from the kind of intro area into, oh my God, everyone has to kill you.
Right.
I didn't like that. I hope that that's not the final thing, or if it is, that they make it a little bit smoother, because it just felt very like in BioShock Infinite, like, you've got quite a decent amount of time to explore the area, and the transition from everything's fine to, oh my God, everyone's starting to kill you, was a little bit more clean. It didn't seem as forced. So this seemed very forced. And then as I went into, the rest of the game, I only played a little bit of I basically played the very intro area. And it seemed interesting. It definitely seemed like a combination between kind of Amnesia, not in a horror sense, but in a item management. Like, you have to have a certain number of items,
right,
and you have to be able to craft some stuff.
Now, one thing about that force, though, and I don't want to ruin anything, but at the very, very end of the very beginning, kind of like the intro area, you end up kind of like in a sewers area.
Yeah.
And then it just suddenly cuts off. So I believe that was the developers saying, there's going to be stuff in here that, eventually leads you, but we want to get you into the game.
Yeah, and I hope that that's true. That's what I felt like was the case. But I did kind of like the idea that, like, everyone's. I mean, I'm going to ruin something that's 2 minutes into the game.
Right.
It's like if you're playing. Yeah, it's like ruining for people playing Assassin's Creed that you're not actually Altair, that you're in a machine, because that happens
exactly.
2 minutes in the game. Like, so everyone's the woman's like, I don't know who this woman is. I think she's a coworker, but she's like, come on, let's hit the piñata. It's so fun. You hit it till the candy comes out, and like, you haven't been taking your joy pills. And you suddenly, and like, as everyone hits the piñata, like, you look down and you see blood on your hands, and you look, and everyone's just beating the shit out of a dead rat.
It was a little freaky.
That was freaky, but it was like, I think that I felt it was too sharp, because what happened was then you're weirded out, and then she goes, oh my God, it's a downer, get him. Like, it was too fast for the people to recognize that you're apparently not one of them, but at the same time, that scene was still pretty good. I kind of liked that idea. So that was a good storytelling scene, but they needed to draw it out a little bit more. And
did you look around at all, going to the different offices?
A little bit. There was like a guy who had disappeared or something.
A girl, yeah.
And something else.
You actually get quite a bit of lore if you go in and you read some of the stuff that you have to redact or approve or whatever. It does throw some really cool hints as far as how things led up to people taking joy all the time, the prevention of World War III, that sort of stuff. It's really cool.
Yep. So I'm excited to play some more. I'm excited for it to be a full-out game. I'm kind of interested. I've never really played any really early release stuff, except for Minecraft, and that isn't really. Miss Dominatrix said, "We're supposed to read in a game."
Reading? What the hell?
You clearly have not played Baldur's Gate,
right?
Or
Oblivion,
or especially not Planescape Torment.
That was a good one.
Anyway, I'm curious if, like, because in Minecraft, playing the alpha didn't give away anything. It was just playing with Legos, and then they added progressively more and more stuff. But in this game, I feel like if I keep playing it, when they finish the game, like I'm going to have played the beginning, middle, and end, but not like the finished version, and I almost feel like I'll lose interest because I'll be like, oh well, I've experienced this already.
Right. Now, Miss Dominatrix says that her husband actually goes through and does all that stuff, and she just kind of watches.
Hey, Miss Dominatrix, I wrote a great book on Seleucarian numerals in Achaea. You should read it.
You made a maze on Seleucarian numerals on Achaea.
I did.
But
and so most people only solved it by looking up the answer online. Yeah.
I'm not sure there is an answer online. Is there?
Yeah, someone wrote how to solve Lorellan's mazes.
That's funny. You know, when I first implemented it, I considered allowing diagonals, and when I wrote a program to basically do all the possibilities, and when it got up into like the 200s or 300s, I was like, no, let's not do this.
Yeah, she stole the answer so she could get the honors line.
Yes.
Frankly, I never solved that, and when I looked up the programming for it, I don't remember ever actually figuring out how you did it.
Okay, so
let's take a tangent because I don't want to know.
We're going to take a little tangent here because basically, so the Lorellan in Achaea has this. There's 3 different mazes. There is a hedge maze, there's a second maze, and there's a third maze. And like the first one was like you take the same steps for traveling from one place to another.
No, I don't so remember, the first maze was you had to. There was the riddle told by Munin, and if you went to in Cyrene in the Pantheon, like depending on which god she was talking about, would be north or south, east or west from the central hub, and you would go that direction.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but basically I put a third maze in just so that it just wasn't dead. And the idea behind this third maze was to count up as high as you can in Roman numerals. And it was a 7x7 grid. You start in the center. And what controlled what you did was this object, which was an orb. And the orb would figure out which room it was in as you moved. And if you moved into a new room, it would try to put down. It would either try to put down a sign, if there wasn't already a sign in the room that had. Well, that's not exactly how it worked, but basically, if you had visited the room before, there would be a sign with some text there, and the text would basically be the next character in the sequence of counting from 1 as high as you could go in Roman numerals, and if there was nothing there, it would create that text with the next one. Mm-hmm. And basically, you just had to go around. So, like, you take the first step, and it would change the sign to an I, because the first Roman numeral is an I. You would go back to the center, and it would make it a blank space, because you go I space, I space, I space, and 4, of course, is IV space, and so on and so forth. And you try to get as high as you can. I believe that the highest possible is 51, but there are so many possibilities I was never able to finish the program that found all the possibilities. But 51, I think, is as high as you can go.
That sounds like way too much work just to put into a game.
Oh, it was so much fun, though. I mean, it was a challenge for me.
So Ron programmed it all, and then...
Was it 52? It might be 52.
And then everyone, like, the idea was you went into this maze as a mortal, and you tried to solve it, and like he had it set up so like he would get alerts if people were trying the mazes or whatever, and eventually people just put the solution online and made it shitty.
Well, that's a video game. You can't get around that.
Right. Spoilers everywhere.
52 in Roman is LII.
I can't believe you know that. Jesus. All right.
Shosan with the intelligence, as always.
I know, what is it, up to about 50 or so?
There's
Those
also
don't change?
there's also a variable in the game. Obviously, mortals can't access it, but there's a variable in the game that is basically a leaderboard that shows how far everyone has gotten. And
Wow.
I don't remember what variable that was, but I would check that every once in a while to see how far people would get.
It's gone now because Lori Ellen's a bitch that's trying to overthrow Serapis again, basically.
Yeah.
Actually, she's one of the producers now.
It's kind of funny because the way that I was playing her, like she was trying to basically discover herself, and apparently she did when I left. So.
Yeah. Well, I for one like Roman numerals.
Of course you do. Fucking engineers, man.
Yeah, I was
You
over my
guys-
head too. What was that in reference to?
Hold on.
Dad doesn't even know what it's in reference to. Well done, man. But anyway, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that was a lot of fun to put in.
Look at the text.
Oh
Hold
God,
on.
come on.
Hold on.
Really?
I have to move these because I don't want to smudge the glasses here because that gets a double facepalm.
Yeah.
God damn it, Dan.
I gotta agree with Ron. Too much.
I'll take
Too much.
5 beers, please.
Oh, get out of here. All right. All right, so let's move on to my favorite part of the show. I've been listening to Ron. I can't figure this shit out. So I want to hit my favorite part, and I've been waiting for this for a while because this is the 6 Gaming Roundtable. So, what it is, we bring up a question every week to not only our other co-hosts, but also to you guys in chat. So please feel free to chime in. But we bring up different questions, gaming related, and see what everybody thinks about it. Now, this week, though, I wanted to bring up this whole sudden news about them pushing back No Man's Sky. Now, specifically, do you think that this 3-day delay will negatively impact No Man's Sky? And let's say that you have a game that you've been waiting for a while, and then just before launch, they do this, and they do a sudden delay. Would that affect your opinion of the game?
Sorry, I was busy typing.
Go ahead,
No
man.
Man's Sky.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
I'll read the roundtable. I'm not negatively influenced. The problem, I wonder why they're delaying. I wish they would be more clear. Like, if you're going to delay, say, we found a bug. You know, I feel like there should just be an explanation for why you're delaying. And as far as I've seen, there hasn't been one. Just like, oh, well, we're delaying for 3 days.
Interesting.
For the Republic says No Man's Sky isn't the best game. I think there's been too much hype, and I think Star Citizen is going to suffer the same problem.
I would
Is that-
agree.
Star Citizen's already suffered the same problem.
Yeah, you hype it like, and I don't know if it's part of it's the problem of the developers. The developers have For the Republic said he tried it and it's not his type or her type, and it's not everyone's type. I think what happened was the developers were too vague and let all of the speculation run rampant. And so if you let people imagine, oh my god, it's going to be the most amazingest thing ever, and you're going to be able to lead entire factions, and you'll be able to synthesize, you know, any material that you want or whatever. If people start talking about stuff like this and you don't say no, it's just an exploration / combat game and you can have fun and that's it. Like,
well, my whole thing, since you brought that up, though, I wouldn't say that they released too little information, but I would say that it suffers from Fable syndrome. Basically, is they promise all this really, really cool stuff, especially at the E3 announcement. You know, big open world, you could do whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. It looks really cool, but when the game actually comes out, it might actually suffer from Fable syndrome. You know, looks great, terrible game. Now, as far as the delay though, I hate delays. I've said this before on previous shows. Like, if you guys are going to put a date out there, then you need to hold on to that date. If you feel like you can't make that date, then you need to retract that as soon as possible, or just say coming soon, like Blizzard is very, very fond of doing. But people, I think, are still going to be hyped for it. I think that this 3-day delay might actually, it's kind of like a PR thing. It might just build up more and more demand for the game. And that's just my opinion, though.
Could be.
Ron?
So this is actually a two-part question here. Basically, the first part, of course, will this affect the overall opinion of the game? It's going to. You saw how the first delay affected the opinion of the game, and it's not even out yet. I think once the game actually releases, it will eventually all blow over, and no one's going to remember that a delay happened. It's just like any other game that's gotten delayed, with the exception of Duke Nukem Forever.
I don't remember if Spore got delayed, and like I said last week, a delayed game will eventually be good, and a shitty game will always be shitty.
Yes.
To paraphrase Shigeru Miyamoto. So if it after all the delays and after all the hype, this turns out to be shitty, it's just gonna be like, oh, it was Spore all over again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's that. I mean, it's just the way the internet is. Internet's shitty like that. I think, me personally, I've seen a lot of games delayed like this. Like, for instance, Descent Underground has a delay. Okay, make it good, please.
Right,
make it good. Please don't.
Did they give you a date though at all?
They haven't given us a date, but I mean,
that's
you can play it. You can play it right now.
Right.
It's not the final game, but you can play it. So there's that. And this 3-day delay with No Man's Sky. The only thing that it bothers me is that Friday is usually the night that me and Kathy go out eating, and now we're going to have to.
Now we're going to have to play games.
We're going to have to play. Just like this Friday. We had to do that yesterday. I was like, come on, the Friday's our night out to eat. Quit releasing stuff on Friday.
Sacrifices,
Ron,
Ron.
you know you can go pick up Chick-fil-A and bring it to your house, right?
Exactly.
I do, but okay. So
Chick-fil-A
we
just doesn't taste the same.
usually like to go out to an actual sit-down restaurant where people come and serve you and stuff like that. That's our Friday thing. If we do Chick-fil-A, that's usually Saturday. But we haven't really done that in a long time because it's so far out of the way. So time to change your eating out date. My eating out date is every day.
Wow.
Oh God. That's what she said. Or he.
Good job, Soli.
Oh, very nice. And on top of that,
congratulations, Soli.
on top of that, Damien is not in chat, but he is talking to us, and he says, "Eat maize."
Oh God, Ron, really?
Damien.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I have. Unless anybody else wants to chime in, please let me know.
Can I get back to the other one?
No.
By the way, I did find the source of that maze where I got the idea from. It is called XL Up. Is the name of the maze.
Interesting.
I don't think it works anymore because it's a 2005 Java applet.
Of course it is, right?
Maybe I'll write it for HTML5. I might do that.
I want to play it in visual.
But yeah, cool.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap things up, you guys. It's been a lot of fun, and thank you guys very, very, very much for joining us on episode 77 of the Six Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Shosan. I love having you guys each and every week, which, by the way, we do this 10 p.m. every single Saturday.
Did I put the wrong title there?
I think you may have.
Oh.
Yep, you did.
Yeah, it was 76. It's 76, guys.
Yep.
Fat fingers.
Oh, it is? No. It's
showing 77.
No, but it should have been. The last episode was 75.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Don't look at the group. It's wrong.
Did we not have
YouTube.com/
July 23rd?
We didn't have the script.
Oh,
So-
we didn't have a script
We don't
last
know what
week.
episode we're on. That's how organized we are, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
This is episode 77.
It is.
I inadvertently
I am sure it
fucked it up and actually got it right. That's what
Go
happened.
figure.
Hold on here, because we have 2 episode 75s. Wait,
No, we have. Yeah,
there are 2 episode 75s
one of them is episode 76.
from
So
July
what I'm
16th.
getting is counting is really hard.
Oh, I think we're
Numbers,
on. I think
numbers
we're
are
on
hard.
78, guys.
No,
Okay.
because
78.
July
Hey,
9th
fuck
was
it.
74, July 23rd was 75.
No, July 9th, 74. July 16th was 75.
Oh.
Yeah.
We
Counting
can't
is
count,
hard.
ladies and gentlemen.
So
So welcome to episode 78
78.
of the Six Gaming Podcast,
Yes.
which, by the
Number-
way, is officially a year and a half.
Numbers
Wow,
mean
that's crazy.
things.
Look, I have Oklahoma education. I'm lucky to count past 10. Let's just be honest. Anyway,
Awesome.
thank you guys again. I'm Shosan. You can join us every Saturday right here, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Mr. Pantherian, would you please say goodnight, sir?
Good night, sir.
All right.
So
Mr.
literal.
Runkley?
Oh, I don't know what I want to leave you guys with. I'm
Herpes. Don't leave us with herpes.
not going to leave you with herpes.
Good.
But I know what Damien would leave us with, so I'm going to take a page out of his book and say, eat herpes.
Oh, Jesus. Inside jokes. Go check out the last week's episode, please. Anyway, I have to leave you guys with one small thing, and that's don't ever trust the critics. Suicide Squad was really good. Anyway, thank you guys again.
Damn it,
My
critics.
name is Shosan. We're going to wrap things up. So, Mr. Runkley, would you please, sir, take it away?
See you, bye.